When Genesect EX came out, the first thing on everybody's mind was Gholdengo EX and how well they paired off together and what kind of demon Gholdengo would end up becoming. But there was two more demons in this world, and they weren't Gholdengo. They were two people in my Discord, Pink and Ruthless, who remembered that there's cards that we all forgot about out in the world that pair really well with Genesect, and that's Metang because of the Metal Maker ability, powering up Melmetal EX, and I forgot this card exists, but it's very, very cool, and I'm very happy that they re-enlightened me to this card. It has the full Metal Knuckle attack for 3 colorless energy. It does 90 damage, but then it does 30 more damage for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. This is really big because finally we'll have a consistent tool in order to find our evolutions thanks to the Metallic Signal ability from Genesect. And then we also have Revavroom in order to get what we need in terms of having a onboard draw engine. One of the things that's also super nice about this deck is the fact that Melmetal is obviously a metal type Pokemon, so we get to use the Heavy Metal Lab, pushing us to effectively 330 HP, which is pretty beefy for a stage 1, but we also get the Rigid Band as well, so we'll be taking 30 less damage on top of that, effectively giving us 360 HP, meaning that we're going to be able to absorb some attacks and get a lot of damage off. Our A-Spec of choice is actually Scramble Switch, which was a pink tech, which is kind of crazy. The way that it works is that we get a Melmetal, we attack into something, they attack back into us, and then instead of getting knocked out or anything like that, we Scramble Switch to a new Melmetal, move all of our energy over, and then just start clapping cheeks from there. So it's kind of crazy. One other card that I am running is a Heavy Baton, just in case, and so that way I can throw it on, save 3 of my energy to help power up something like a Regigigas. Regigigas with the Jewel Breaker attack is also really great in this deck because it does 100 damage, and then if our opponent's active Pokemon is a Terra Pokemon, this attack does 230 more, meaning we're knocking out Charizard, we're knocking out the opponent's Dracopult if they have it, as well as just making it easy as something to go in and knock out like Flareon or whatever if we're up against Eeveebox, because obviously our fire weakness kind of sucks. But yeah, outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward deck. It's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it. If you want to try it out, it'll be down in the description below. Be sure to give them a shout out in the comments. They're very, very good, and I highly recommend trying this out. That being said, I do want to also give a shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way. It means a lot. So thank you guys so much for that. As well as anybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you are interested in becoming a channel member, it will give you access to our stream VODs, the ability to play me when I am on stream, and also access to videos early. So if you're interested in any of that, the link to become a channel member will be down below as well. But yeah, that's just about it. I will jump into game number 1 in a second, and I will see you guys there. Peace. All right, we're into game number 1, and we're going to be going first. We're actually up against Payday Meowth. That's pretty fun. We see that they're playing what I'm going to guess. Ooh, there's well, seeing the Dark Energy, I'm going to guess it's Gholdengo. We see a Genesect from our opponent. So I think it is just going to be Gholdengo. Yep. So we'll see if we're able to pull this one out. They don't get much going for themselves on their first turn though, which is obviously good for us. We're going to grab... We actually get a turn here, so we're going to go double Beldum to kind of play it safe. We're going to go Nest Ball and a Rigid Band. I think is fine. Rigid Band kind of matters, not as much in this matchup because they're going to be able to one-shot us regardless in most cases. But I think that it will just add like an additional, you know, bit of damage that they're going to need. So it's better for us to have it than not. And then we'll just go for the Knick-Knack carry just to grab ourselves an Air Balloon in case we get like boss trapped or something like that on the upcoming turn. So we'll see what happens. Arven comes in for maybe a Buddy Poffin Air Balloon. There is a world where we get to evolve and actually end up knocking out the Genesect if they keep it in the active. Because we do have energy in hand, so that puts us to 2. We'll have access to double Metang as well on the next turn. We would obviously like another Meltan, though. We do get Fez. That helps us a little bit. We're going to go ahead and go Metallic Signal. Grab this, and I guess another Melmetal. Obviously, we'd want another Meltan if we were able to get one. We're going to go Metal Maker, where we get one. We'll go Metal Maker again. Hopefully hit 2 here. Only hit 1. Go ahead and evolve. Get one more. Where we're hitting for only 210. So in this case, we're going to go Boss's Orders. Pull the Fezandipiti up. We're going to place ours down. See if we can bait them into attacking ours. But we will be able to get the KO here. And it's better to get the KO on the Fez than the Genesect, because the Genesect already got all its value. We'll be able to get the KO, though. Genesect already, like I said, got its value. We don't want to really give them Fez. They do get the Night Stretcher for the Fezandipiti. If our Melmetal EX survives this turn, which, I mean, it's unlikely with 14 cards and the ability to draw more, because like we know they have the other Gholdengo in hand. They go Air Balloon. Good choice to retreat, so that way they get the additional 2 cards off this. They get themselves another Gimme Ghoul. We will have the ability essentially here to accept getting KO'd once. Like if we get KO'd, we can sack one of our Metangs while we build up another Melmetal, provided we don't get bossed. That would kind of offset things a little bit and put us a little bit behind. Obviously, we'd really like to survive this turn, but we're going to see the Steel Energy or the Metal Energy attached to the Gholdengo EX. And I have to assume they have enough. Let's see. Okay, they go Counter Catcher for a Metang. Not a bad choice. They don't attack. I'm very confused why. At this point, we go Metang. We're going to go Air Balloon. What we're going to do is go for the Metallic Signal. Pull these out of our deck. And go... We'll retreat out, bring this in. We need 1 energy from either of these Metangs. We miss... So we really need to hit here. We get the 1. Huge. So now we can attach from hand. And go ahead and attack for 270. Get the KO. Where we get another energy to hand and our Metang. Realistically, we have to assume at this point they're going to be able to knock us out. Even if they go Scizor, that's, what, 10 plus 100, 200. So not enough. But, like, we know they have Metal Energy in hand. Arven's going to go for, like, Energy Search Pro if they don't have it. Yeah, I'm shocked, by the way. They must be drawing really poorly. But what is nice here is that potentially we can get into, like, a Boss's Orders or something. And make it so we don't need so many energies in order to get over the Gholdengo. We can just potentially go for like one of these. But if we have to sack a Metang for a turn, that's fine. They're going to have to find a superior energy retrieval. Yep, 320. A lot of that goes to the discard pile. We'll put up our Metang to promote. See what we can find. We get a switch, not as exciting. We'll go the metallic signal just to check what's in our deck. We have access to Iono, Arven. We do have access to Metal Lab and Rigid Band. Double Recycler. There's 6 energy in our deck. We'll go flip the script. Where we do get another energy, we'll go ahead and Super Rod. Put 3 of those back. I'm gonna do it like this. We're gonna Nest Ball for that. We'll go ahead and place this down. Attach an energy for turn. We'll evolve here. Go for the Metal Maker. We unfortunately miss. That kind of sucks a lot. We get 1. We'll place this. What we'll do is we'll retreat. Put the Meltan to the front. Pass. And if they knock out, like if they go boss, knock out the Melmetal EX, then what we'll be able to just move the energy onto this other Meltan. If they take this KO, it sets them to odd prizes. And it'll give us access to Fez, where we're really hoping to either Super Rod to get more energy back in before we go for the Metangs, or we're looking for a like Energy Recycler or something like that. We see the Lavencia. That's going to be able to get them back their 2 electric energy. We'll see if they have steel energy to work with. They do. Didn't play a supporter for the turn. We see a Tauros come for the Fez. Stops a boss target, though we don't have another boss to use anyway. They go for the Make It Rain. We will promote the Metang. Draw here, so we will go Arven. Go Energy Recycler. And obviously the Rigid Band. Then from here, what we'll do is we're going to try to draw out as many cards as we possibly can from our deck. So we'll go for the Flip the Script, where we get another Metang. And then that one will get the Rigid Band. After that, we will go Energy Recycler. Put 4 energy back into our deck, which will give us the best odds in order to go Metal Maker here, where we get 2. Metal Maker again, where we get another 2. We'll be able to retreat, bring this in, attach 1 more energy, and go for game. Woo! Close one. Very good. Shout out to Payday Meowth. That was a very fun game. I wonder if he even knows we were playing against each other. But yeah, that'll be game number 1. I'll put this at the start, I guess, because it's fun to go against another creator, I guess, for game number 1. I recorded one game right before this, which is a kind of long Wug Trio game. But it shows kind of how to play against control decks and stuff like that, so I wanted to keep it in, even though it's a kind of very long game. But yeah, so I'll say game number 1 in that, but it's really going to be game number 2. Also, shout out to Payday and Meowth. I'll leave a link to their channel as well down in the description. Go give them go give them a like on their videos and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Cool channel, so it's fun to see them, and yeah, it's kind of fun to have it for the video. I definitely would like to see the battle from their point of view, because it looks like their early hands were just not that great. Like, it kind of took them a couple turns to get where they wanted to be. So I think they just got a little unlucky with their hands. But yeah, that was kind of a fun game 1. So or I guess game 2, but like I said, I'm moving it to game 1. But with this long-winded explanation out of the way, you know, I'll see you guys in the next game and into the breakdown and so forth and so on. Peace. All right, we're into game 1 and we're going to be going first. We open our kind of really most of what we need. We'll be able to place these down, throw our Genesect down, we'll go ahead and pass. If we had a Buddy Poffin, that'd be really, really cool, but I mean, it's fine that we don't. Ooh, Wug Trio. Okay, that's fun. I'll be able to throw this down. We'll go for the metallic signal, and in this case, we're just gonna grab the 1 Metang and call it a day. We're gonna get enough energy to power up our Melmetal, and then we'll kind of, like I said, just call it a day. We're not too worried about getting trapped. We should be able to get enough knockouts. It's fun that they're using the Dracloak draw engine, so this is exciting. I love Wug Trio. Thankfully for us, we have a lot of ways to recycle energy and recycle cards back into our deck. So we're going to go ahead and play this. We're going to evolve our Melmetal, and then from here we'll go for the Metal Maker. Hopefully hit 2. We only hit 1. So a little unfortunate, but that's okay. We're going to place another energy down, and then we'll go for the... We're going to go for the metal, so that way we can just grab 1. That way we're able to start attacking and be fine from there. We'll pass. And on the next turn, start being able to take knockouts. And the main play here, so this is the secret to getting past control decks, is we know they're going to look to boss trap us and kind of, you know, hold us in place, probably with Grav Mountain, all that kind of stuff. And so not only do we have switches and Scramble Switch, so we're going to hold our Arven to kind of make that potentially possible as long as they don't get discarded. But in this case, right now, we have attackers on board that'll do enough damage to knock out the Wug Trio. Outside of the Metang, that's the only thing that won't one-shot, but we can use it to one-shot the Wiglets and stuff like that. So we'll be kind of forced to use this to retreat, but the other 2 we'll be able to attack with. So we can go ahead and just start powering those up now. And then we'll go for the Full Metal Knuckle. Take the first KO. That does activate their... there's another Arven. It does activate their reversal energies, but it is what it is. We just got to kind of play around that. I kind of disagree with the Dracloaks, but I understand it. Just because it's a little bit more consistent than having to use the Dunsparce and Dunsparce engine. But I don't know. I'm definitely more of a fan of the Dunsparce, especially because of Hilda. There's the Hazel. Good card in this deck. But yeah, I'm a massive Wug Trio fan, and if you are as well, there's a Wug Trio video up on the channel from the updated to the new set. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go check it out. We'll see what they chose to get off the Hazel. I assume. Ooh, neutralization zone. Okay, so that's annoying, but honestly not that bad for us because we do have stadiums that we can bump this with. So I'm surprised they played it so early, because you can definitely go a little bit behind first. We just have to hope they're not prized is the main issue. But we'll see. We see the Gravity Gemstone like we expected. Undersea Tunnel comes out. Let's see how many heads they flip. Okay. Little rough start, but not too bad. They do get rid of a Super Rod. That's kind of annoying. Let's do this first. Let's go Metallic Signal, so we can see if the Stadium is in our deck. It is. We do have 2 copies. So then what we'll do is we'll add these to our hand, so that way we have a better chance of drawing them. We'll go ahead and Iono. You can put all this to the bottom. And C, unfortunately, we don't get into our stadium, which sucks a little, but there is a chance that we can go Metal Maker, and we do get it. So we'll go for the switch real quick, bring this in, go ahead and beam, attack for 60. So on our next attack, we will be able to knock this out. So until we pop this, we'll just start, you know, kind of taking a little bit of damage with the Metang. We draw out a counter catcher. Bad call on their part. Definitely want to go for the Melmetal, because it's harder to retreat. Let's see. I mean, the main thing now is it comes down to if we find our stadium in time. We do have 2 in deck. Hopefully they don't get discarded. And we'll see what we can find. There's another Dracloak for our opponent. And it all comes down to this. There's a Hilda. That'll get them a new Wug Trio and an Ignition Energy. So they have their Wug Trios up. Undersea Tunnel comes out. 3 Tails. Unlucky. Let's see. Top deck for Stadium? No, but it does get us Air Balloon. So we can go ahead and attach that. I'm going to go Metallic Signal. Grab these out of my deck just to give myself a better chance of drawing into what I want to. I'll go Metal Maker here as well. Just add 1 to the Genesect, so that way I can retreat out. We'll go for the Beam to knock this out. That at least gets rid of the Gravity Mountain. We take 1 prize card. And we're down to just needing 4 attacks once we pop the neutralization zone. If we are able to. We do have Ionos in our deck to help reshuffle our hand to give us more turns if it comes down to it. And it's then 8 attacks if we have to just keep using Metang over and over. Tool Scrapper comes out, moves the Air Balloon off. Counter Catcher pulls that back up. Arven for what I assume will be another Gravity Gemstone. Yep, Gravity Gemstone and Sacred Ash. Which is still fine. Because if we can hit a Metal Maker, we'll be able to put that back. We know that they've already used 2 Counter Catchers so far. They go Redeemable Ticket early. Well, I guess it's not too early. They have 10 cards or 18 cards in their deck left. Sacred Ash to put 2 Wiglets back. Or a Wiglet and a Wug Trio. Going Ultra Ball to pull the Wiglet out, I'm guessing. At least that would be my assumption. Gets rid of an Ignition and Shaman. Yep, for the Wiglet. Place that back down. Goes Reversal Energy. We'll see if their luck is any better this time. Wow, really bad. very unfortunate. Unfortunately for us, we don't get what we're looking for. We'll grab these to just help pull them out of our deck. Go ahead and Metal Maker, where we get 1. We do see our stadium. So we'll be able to put this down, attach the energy here. We can go ahead and discard all that, which is fine, because as long as we get our energy recycler, we'll just put it all back anyway. But I need to keep applying pressure, especially while I have the time of them getting very, very, very unlucky. And then also, if I can make my hand larger, if I top deck into Iono, I can always put all these cards back in and extend my game state out a little bit longer. But we'll see. Obviously, if they can get into another counter catcher, this is going to be a little bit more of a problem. We see the Wug Trio evolution. All of their reversal energies are down. We see 0-6 as the turn. We'll get rid of these. Because the Pokemon are like less relevant, but also things that I can shuffle back. I don't really want to get rid of items, because I do have another Super Rod. Alright, I was going to say, if they flip tails again, that'd be insane. Alright, there goes our other Super Rod. That actually does suck. But we do now have our stadium, which opens up the game a lot. So we can go Metal Maker, where we do get another energy. I'm going to go ahead and attach it, I guess, here. So that way we only need 1 or 2 attachments to retreat this back out. The fact that we knock that out is very, very big, because now it's going to open up the door to being able to just take 3 more knockouts. So now, if we can get our energy recycler, we're in a very good position. Unfortunately, like I said, double Super Rod being in the prize card, or being taken out of our deck, is definitely rough, because it's going to make it harder to power these up or retreat them back out. And we already used our Switch as well as an Air Balloon, so that's the right play of targeting the Metang. Hopefully we can get 2 energy in order to just retreat this out. If they're playing a 3rd Gravity Gemstone, I will be a little surprised. But it's definitely possible. We know that that's the 3rd of 4 counter catchers. Probably not playing a boss's orders. But we will have to wait and see. We should still have access to our Scramble Switch as well, which is another option. We've seen Iono come in. That's also fine with us. It gets us 3 cards deeper into our deck once the Iono decides to start working. Why does Iono break the game so consistently? Like, it's not a new card, but it like very consistently just like breaks the game sometimes. Cool. Nice 1 card. Two flipped heads. We lose out on 2 Arven, a Regigigas. We almost lost out on our entire turn. Undersea. I'm literally losing my turn here. I know what happens. Let me play a card. This is bullshit. I know. Let me... Oh, the timer was for them. Oh, no it wasn't. Cool. That's awesome. So I can't play my energy recycler, which would get me all the energy back that I would need, retreat the Metang out, and start attacking again. What a fun turn. Way to go, Pokemon. So, can I at least... Alright, cool. Cool, there's my other energy recycler and my Iono. I needed both of those. Alright, so first things first. Put these back in my deck. Metal Maker. 1. Place another one. Retreat. Bring this in. I'm going Arven, just so I can hold this. So it doesn't get discarded. I can knock this out. They only have one more reversal energy that I need to worry about. We get another Beldum. I don't really care about that. But I have Scramble Switch now, so I'm fine to get around another counter catcher unless they Iono me. And if that happens, then it just kind of is what it is. We see a Hilda for ignition energy. As long as the other thing too is like with the amount of energy in our deck, unless they get like an insane undersea tunnel here. Alright, so 6. So it's possible for us to lose on our next turn. Which is what it is. It comes down to like they either flip 2 heads or they don't. And we should have one more turn. But unfortunately we didn't. I guess I should have used Arven to get... I don't think there's anything else in my deck that would actually recycle anything. Or I guess I could have gone Iono. No, I couldn't have. Yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. It was just losing that one turn, because that's a knockout we should have got. You know, it comes down to... Oh, actually, they need 3 heads here. Because we're at 7 cards, so they would need to discard 9. Alright, cool. That was... It came down to our literal last card, but we found a way to do it. Even with Pokemon trying to make us lose, which was genuinely frustrating. But we found our way. There's our other Arven. Alright, that was a very, very long first game, so I'm not sure what game 2 will look like. Or maybe we'll move this to game 2, just because of the length of it. But that was very fun, and that was also kind of that's the secret on how you beat control. You can't play normal. You have to build a board that you know is going to be efficient. If we could have played that game where we only had Melmetal EX out, that also would have been totally fine. But like that would have been obviously optimal, but it's like fine. That's the main thing. You just want to make sure whatever you have on your board is usable, and anything you don't, you just want to make sure that it's not there. That's also why you don't want to overcommit your board early on in the game. But yeah, that's a tip to beating control decks. A lot of people just play like it's a normal matchup, and then you lose and get frustrated. But yeah, alright, that's the end of the game, and this will either be into the breakdown or game 2, depending on how I move them around, because of video length and stuff like that. But yeah, see you in the next thing. Bye. When doing the breakdown for Melmetal EX, I want to say first off that this deck is a ton of fun, and being able to just swing with a giant kind of metal monster and just play Titanfall in real life, and just be able to, you know, kind of have your own Mechagodzilla stomping around is a lot of fun, and the damage that Full Metal Knuckle can do is just awesome. So this deck, a lot of fun. When it pops off super hard. Honestly, kind of unbeatable when it just goes crazy. The problem is it just doesn't go crazy enough, but it is very, very fun. So definitely give it a try if you are interested. It'll be a 5 out of 5 on the fun rating for me. Going into power, this is going to be a 4 out of 5 because you can hit pretty much unbelievable like max damage, KOing anything in the game. You do need to get to like 8 energies to be able to do that though, and it's definitely possible, but obviously it takes a couple turns or 2 or getting really, really lucky for that to happen. And so with that being the case, you know, you definitely want to realize, like, plan out your game plan accordingly, figure out like when your Melmetal is going to get knocked out, if it's worth putting more energy on them or not. And kind of going from there. So the power is very high, but it's situational, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5. Going into consistency, this is where this deck can kind of struggle, and it's not that you can't get your Pokemon. That's where this deck does really, really well. It's really easy to get your opening board going, and Genesect makes this deck really consistent with getting your actual Pokemon on board. The problem with the consistency is the fact that you're still relying on Metang, and sometimes your Metal Makers just whiff. And when that happens, it just feels really bad. There's not much that you're going to be able to do from that, kind of from that position. And so when that happens, you kind of just have to, suck it up. And that part sucks. So outside of that, the deck is really consistent. It's just that you're still relying on Metang as your best kind of metal accelerator, which can sometimes feel bad or sometimes feel amazing. But, as a gambler, the only thing that makes you lose is when you stop. It's only a problem when you admit you have one. So, we keep relying on Metal Maker. Going into the matchups, this is going to be a 2.5 out of 5. And the reason for that is that you kind of get bodied by Typhlosion, and that deck is seeing a lot more play now that Brave Bangle's around. You have a hard time dealing with Flareon as well. And then the other problem that you have is that you're good into a lot of matchups if your deck is working. But if you're missing Metal Makers, which understandably is just like a part of this deck, it's really hard to come back from being behind. That's one of the biggest issues that this deck can run into, and certain decks are just way better at getting, ahead than others. One of the things as well is that the higher HP Pokemon, think of things like Charizard, for example, think of things like going into a Dracopult or something like that. Those can be kind of a problem because it's a little bit harder to get prepped to one-shot. If you are prepped to one-shot, then it doesn't feel that bad because you one-shot them, they attack into you, they can't take that knockout back, then you're taking another knockout before they're able to do anything. And in those instances, it feels really good. That's also where Scramble Switch is really good. But if that's not happening, you can really struggle in those matchups, because if you're having to two-shot, or even in some cases three-shot if you're behind, it feels really, really bad. Guardy going and trading for one prize is kind of a problem. Also, you don't have room for a Shaman in this deck. And so if you only have like one Meltan out or something like that, and they just keep scream-tailing it, then you just lose and it feels horrible. So that can be kind of a problem as well. But with that being said, overall, I'm going to give this deck a 2.5 out of 5. It's incredibly fun, and I love that it definitely did get better with Genesect. This deck went from unplayable garbage to like actually really fun, and like you can win games with it. And so I would definitely recommend it as like a fun deck if you're going to take it to locals and like mess around and be a local hero. This is a great deck. But if you're going to win, if you're going to Pittsburgh, probably not the deck for you. But with that being said, shout out to my Discord members again, helping me put this list together, giving me some lists for inspiration. It's a lot of fun. So thank you so much to them, and thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.